Chapter X of Money and Exchange. Paragraph 105. Establishment of money. In the first ages, after the introduction of private property, people exchanged their superfluous commodities and effects for those they wanted. Afterwards, gold and silver became the common standard of the value of all things, and to prevent the people from being cheated, the mode was introduced of stamping pieces of gold and silver in the name of the state, with the figure of the prince, or some other impression, as the seal and pledge of their value. This institution is of great use and infinite convenience. It is easy to see how much it facilitates commerce. Nations or sovereigns cannot therefore bestow too much attention on an affair of such importance. Paragraph 106. Duty of the nation or prince with respect to the coin. The impression on the coin becoming the seal of its standard and weight. A moment's reflection will convince us that the coinage of money ought not to be left indiscriminately free to every individual. For, by that means, frauds would become too common. The coin would soon lose the public confidence, and this would destroy a most useful institution. Hence money is coined by the authority and in the name of the state or prince, who are its surety. They ought, therefore, to have a quantity of it coined sufficient to answer the necessities of the country, and to take care that it be good, that is to say, that its intrinsic value bear a just proportion to its extrinsic or numerary value. It is true that, in a pressing necessity, the state would have a right to order the citizens to receive the coin at a price superior to its real value, but as foreigners will not receive it at that price, the nation gains nothing by this proceeding. It is only a temporary palliative for the evil, without effecting a radical cure. This excess of value, added in an arbitrary manner to the coin, is a real debt which the sovereign contracts with individuals, and, in strict justice, this crisis of affairs being over, that money ought to be called in at the expense of the state, and paid for in other species, according to the natural standard. Otherwise, this kind of burden, laid on in the hour of necessity, would fall solely on those who received this arbitrary money in payment, which would be unjust. Besides, experience has shown that such a resource is destructive to trade, by destroying the confidence both of foreigners and citizens, raising in proportion the price of everything, and inducing everyone to lock up or send abroad the good old specie, whereby a temporary stop is put to the circulation of money. So that it is the duty of every nation and of every sovereign to abstain, as much as possible, from so dangerous an experiment, and rather to have recourse to extraordinary taxes and contributions to support the pressing exigencies of the state. Paragraph 107. Their rights in this respect. Since the state is surely for the goodness of the money and its currency, the public authority alone has the right of coining it. Those who counterfeit it violate the rights of the sovereign, whether they make it of the same standard and value or not. These are called false coiners, and their crime is justly considered as one of the most heinous nature. For if they coin base money, they rob both the public and the prince, and if they coin good, they usurp the prerogative of the sovereign. They will never be inclined to coin good money unless there be a profit on the coinage, and in this case they rob the state of a profit which exclusively belongs to it. In both cases they do an injury to the sovereign, for the public faith being surety for the money, the sovereign alone has a right to have it coined. For this reason the right of coining is placed among the prerogatives of majesty, and Bodinus relates, that Sigismund Augustus, King of Poland, having granted this privilege to the Duke of Prussia, In the year 1543, the states of the country passed a decree in which it was asserted that the king could not grant that privilege, it being inseparable from the crown. The same author observes that, although many lords and bishops of France had formerly the privilege of coining money, it was still considered as coined by the king's authority, and the kings of France at last withdrew all those privileges, on account of their being often abused. Paragraph 108. How one nation may injure another in the article of coin. From the principles just laid down, it is easy to conclude that if one nation counterfeits the money of another, or if she allows and protects false coiners who presume to do it, she does that nation an injury. But commonly criminals of this class find no protection anywhere, all princes being equally interested in exterminating them. Paragraph 109. Of exchange, and the laws of commerce. There is another custom more modern, and of no less use to commerce than the establishment of coin, namely exchange, or the traffic of bankers, by means of which a merchant remits immense sums from one end of the world to the other, at a very trifling expense, and, if he pleases, without risk. For the same reason that sovereigns are obliged to protect commerce, they are obliged to support this custom, by good laws, in which every merchant, whether citizen or foreigner, may find security. In general, it is equally the interest and the duty of every nation to have wise and equitable commercial laws established in the country.